This actually went viral for a reason that I can't fathom, but here we go. So apparently a communist, and I know he's a communist because he's got the hammer and sickle in the bio, and he's also has the communist star, uh, not once but twice, right? Like they want you to firmly understand that they're a communist. And I wanted to see if they're a troll. I even went to the account and no, like legit, 100% communists. So they're saying that unskilled labor is a capitalist myth used to justify poverty wages, right? And they have like a lefty meme that for once is not a wall of text, so I appreciate that at least. But looking at it, this is what communists do, right? Like they claim they care about the worker, and they only care about them in order to moral police other people, right? So the only reason that they care about the worker is for the tongue policing. It's like, oh, don't use the word unskilled. But when you look at the way they're voting, when you look at the politicians and the activists they're supporting, all of their policies is to make the life of the worker miserable. I mean, the European Union is almost going to war with the farmers now by increasing more regulations, but by making it more difficult and advocating for banks to make it more difficult for farms that aren't sustainable to take loans and stuff. Right? And leftists support that. Oh, but look, they have a nice picture of a farmer. Isn't it beautiful, right? While they're supporting some of the biggest corporations to seize land from farmers, it's kind of like the tallest person in the pool advocates for the water level to keep rising, right? So more regulations so that the poor people can't be able to keep farming, so they have to sell their land to these mega corporations, and this is what the left supports. Oh, but they will tongue police you, and they will say, well, don't use the unskilled labor. They also like justify more taxation. More taxation, yeah. Like who do you think gets affected by more taxes? Oh, increase the VAT tax, increase the sales tax, more tax on this, tax on that, tax. Increase minimum wage, my favorite one. Oh, let's increase minimum wage. Why is McDonald's firing all the workers and now they're having everything automated? Increase minimum wage. Wow, people are getting fired, and ones that stay, they have to do the job of two people. I remember when I even talked about that with someone, and I pointed out like when you increase minimum wage, you also increase like the fines in my country, right? Because like the fines in Romania are tied to the minimum wage. They just don't understand that. It's like, and I had like people who allegedly benefited from minimum wage, who worked at McDonald's, who worked in the fast food industry, and they were saying like the worst thing that happened was when the minimum wage got up, because most of my colleagues got fired. I now had to do the work of two people, and heaven forbid if they go up again, then I will probably end up getting fired as well, because they're going to replace me with a machine, right? So even when you have like the actual workers talking to the actual socialists, and they're like, please stop increasing the fucking minimum wage, just stop it, No, they don't, no. And then it's like a fundamental lack of understanding of what even we mean by skilled labor, right? Like no one considers a farmer to be unskilled. Now I'll tell you why communists think that farmers are unskilled labor. It's because they're watching the television and they're seeing like all of the workers from Eastern Europe coming to pick up cotton. To pick up fruits and vegetables. And they're like, oh, well, if they can do it, everyone can. Those aren't farmers. Yeah, I guess you can call it as a farm hand or a seasonal worker. And yeah, that is unskilled. Like picking fruits from the ground is what we would consider non-skill. But farming is a skilled labor. It is such a skilled labor that usually a country like Zimbabwe that decides to get rid of the farmers creates a famine. Because the new people that come in don't know how to do it. Bricklaying is not unskilled. For the love of God, like what is wrong with these people? How detached are they from reality? Holy shit. How can you be so opinionated when there are no ideas in your brain? Like something must produce those opinions and yet their head is empty. Like how is it possible? It's fucking magic. It's communist magic, I'm telling you. Now let's talk a little bit about skilled and unskilled, because I saw like people burgeoning in, even right-wingers being like, well, actually, even a janitor is skilled labor. It's like, no, this is not why we have definitions. Like, stop treating language like mathematics, all right? Like you don't need, like when someone says God damn it, they don't actually mean that he believes in God and he wants to damn it. It's like a metaphor. It's a way of speaking, right? When you say skilled labor, usually what it means is that it requires years of training in order to do at an adequate level, right? So like if you're looking at a spinal surgeon, it takes at least 12 years to train one. And sometimes it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to get a single person that's capable of performing the task, right? 6 years of med school, another 6 years of residency. In some places, there's even 9. So that is why it's called skilled labor. Now, unskilled labor, like for example, a Starbucks barista. A lot of people said, oh, well, if I put you to be a Starbucks barista, you'll see, without any type of training, you're going to have a hard time. Yeah, no, I agree. No, like, sure, you do need, like, the manager of the Starbucks to tell you how to operate the machines and stuff. But that takes, like, what, 1 week of training? Probably less. I mean, it depends, I guess, like, how fast the person manages to do it. But all in all, it's not rocket science, right? Like, being a janitor, I guess it depends what type of janitor. But, like, for instance, being a school janitor, maybe you get, like, a presentation with what chemicals you shouldn't mix and how exactly are you expected to clean everything? And it's true, like, one janitor can be more skilled than another, right? Like, one janitor can leave the room more clean than another. But we call it unskilled labor because you do not need to spend years of your life in order to know how to be a fucking Starbucks barista. Like, the fact that I even have to explain this, and the fact that right-wingers are pretending not to get it, it's really annoying. So why do we classify jobs in skilled and unskilled? Is it to humiliate people? No, we do not do it to humiliate people. We do it for statistics, right? Because, like, before we had this open border shit, it was like, all right, well, we need more skilled labor. Where? Hospitals. What exactly? Spinal surgeons, right? So, like, okay, well, open the borders and we're going to allow, like, exchange programs for 50 doctors that are capable in performing spinal surgery so that they train some new generations, right? Like, this is how things used to be done. Now it's not. But still, you can say, all right, well, we have not enough skilled labor. Like, what do we do? Well, we need to incentivize more program. Okay, allocate some of the budget for that. And it remained in the common tongue, but I do not see it used in order to humiliate someone, right? Like skilled labor usually refers to things that are career-based, while unskilled labor also refers to things that people aren't expected to do their whole life, right? So, like, for example, working at a Starbucks. You notice that there are not many old people working at a Starbucks. The reason is that they're not expected to make a career out of it. Like, working at a Starbucks is something that people do usually when they want some extra pocket during high school, or they want a summer vacation job, right? Unfortunately, we don't get that because, like, well, open borders means that you're going to get undercut. But this is what we mean when we're like, well, it's unskilled labor, so obviously the wages are going to be low. Because they're not, like, first of all, they're not supposed to provide a living to the people doing these things. And there are so many people that want to do these things that there is no incentive even creating the concept of providing a living, right? Because when you have the concept of minimum wage, and let's say you put it, I don't know, $20 minimum wage, right? Every single person that cannot perform a job that is worth $20 an hour should not get employed. This is what the left is saying. And this is how they, like, try to be on board with the workers. You're not. There are people who do not want to make a living. They just want some pocket change. They want some experience. They want to see how it's like to have their first job. They want to get, into the concept of working for a living. And these jobs were really great entry levels. And then you also had jobs like the service industry where, you're a waitress or something and you get some extra money and you're proud over the fact that you did a good job. Yeah, you're basically robbing people from that. You're basically saying, no. Every single restaurant should pay people a living wage. And it's like, at that point, many people will say, well, I can't afford to, so I'm not going to open the restaurant. And there are no businesses. But anyway, right, hopefully I managed to explain my position. And I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.